heard about this particular bullying before? In class these days, do not underestimate any child, because a child is using an old school bag or has been wearing the same school sandal for the last 4 sessions, and you'll be like, huh? Like, seriously? But yeah, it is a bad thing. God will reward you. In fact, bring your child onto this table to this video right now and let me have this talk with them. Hello, welcome to this channel. My name is Kudirat Adedamola Luboyo, known to you as Auntie Kudi. On this channel, we'll talk about parenting, relationships, careers and dreams. We'll do adventure and lifestyle vlogs, and then plus every other thing you find interesting on the channel. Yeah, if you are just seeing this video or just coming across this channel for the first time, or you're a regular watcher but you have not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please just hit the subscribe button and let's create fun together. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much for always having me here. It is a pleasure. So today we'll be looking at a very special and what do I call it now, a very special and often unnoticed type of bully. Of course, you know what bully is. If you don't know, check the channel. Okay, the types of bullying like work, there is domestic bullying, and some other types like that. But have you heard about this particular bullying before? Classroom bullying. As a teacher, as a classroom teacher, I can tell you that this is a very type of bullying that should be noticed, because it is exhibited by children to their fellow and all of that. Classroom bullying occur where students give negative talks. They give negative talks. They body shame, or material shame, or shame their fellow classmates academically. And it is very bad, because this type of bullying can actually cause a kind of depression that comes from childhood. So if a child is being bullied in school, in classroom like that, and then they do not have that resistance, they can take it on to adulthood and take it on to live their life. And with this, it can cause self-esteem, low self-esteem. It can even affect academics of the student that was being bullied. One shocking thing is that we have we have this channel where we expect bullying. Like, we'll see a child and know if he or she can bully or not. With my experience in classroom, I can tell you that bullying has gone beyond that. In fact, it is being seen as a no in classrooms today, because if you are not on that side of bullying, like if you are not part of those bullying someone, then they are definitely bullying you. Sure, you know that kind of thing. So where to expect bullying, from who to expect bullying, is from every child. Do not underestimate any child. Any child can engage in bullying. It is not only, before it used to be only children who have who are stubborn, or saucy, or who are poor academically. They are poor academically. So before, we used to think that, okay, because of these things, the only way they can be champion in class is to bully their other mates. So if you are poor academically, you just want to bully someone, into making you not feel bad in class. And then if you are stubborn also, it is believed that in classroom you have that epitome, that atom. But in class these days, you will find a very brilliant child, brilliant student or pupil engaging in bullying, and you'll be like, huh? Like, seriously? But yeah, because because that child, this is what happened, because that child knows that, okay, I know this thing. And some kind of teachers when they see a brilliant student, they tend to favor that child over others, in the sense that whatever that child says is final. Like they have so much trust, they have so much belief in that child. So in that instance, if a brilliant child should lie against another child, it will not be argued, because the teacher will automatically believe that a brilliant child who they believe is supposed to be a good girl or good boy. So yeah, then another one is students who are gentle. Students who are gentle, of course, gentle people, they call them slow poison. So yeah, gentle people can also have a trait of bullying, because they know that the teacher will not feel suspicious of them, and the teacher's focus will not be on them. So they tend to exhibit that bully act silently. They do it, and their face is so clear and so innocent, and you'll be like, who just did this thing? Then before you know it, as a teacher or parent, you robe another child who looks probably who looks stubborn and something like that. In fact, bring your child onto this table to this video right now, and let me have this talk with them. Because a child is using an old school bag, or because a child is using hands to pack books to school, or because a child is using a leaked school bag to bring his or her books to school every day, doesn't mean that you should bully him. It is not a bad thing. Because a child has been wearing the same school sandal for the last 4 sessions, or because a child is wearing a tattered school sandal, doesn't mean they deserve to be bullied, and doesn't mean that it is a bad thing. Because the child's school uniform is old and the color has faded, doesn't mean they deserve to be bullied. And it is not a bad thing. Because the child only has one exercise book to bring to school, and maybe an abnormal pen, like a pen that is supported with broom or something like that, doesn't mean they deserve to be bullied. It doesn't mean that it is a bad thing. Because the child brings beans to school every day with gari or beans cake or moi beans pudding, doesn't mean that they deserve to be bullied. It doesn't mean that it is a bad thing. You bringing spaghetti to school every day doesn't mean you are the best. You having a clean new uniform and not oversized doesn't mean that you should bully someone who doesn't, or doesn't mean that you are the best in class. Everyone had their own status, and so everyone should respect each other's status. If a student, a mate doesn't have a pen, and you have to, come on, borrow him or her. If a child doesn't have a note and needs an emergency, and you have an extra, borrow him or her. If a child with a leaked school bag is going on the road and some of the books drop down, you shouldn't laugh at him or her. Instead, help him or her pick the books from the floor and hand it over nicely. A child who doesn't bring food to school every day, or who doesn't have money to buy things, you shouldn't laugh him or her. If you can help. If you cannot, respect their status, respect them for who they are, not make jest of them. If a child is academically poor, If a child is academically poor, do not make jest of them. Find time to teach them what they do not know. Help them to be better just like you. You don't have two heads, they don't have two heads. So each of you have one head, which means that each of you can be very brilliant. And your brilliancy doesn't need to affect one another. 2 people can be first position. 5 people in a class can be first position. 10 people in a class can be first position. If you have a friend that you think is academically down, help them so that they start competing with you, and you have that kind of competition. It will make you also start reading more, make you also buckle up in your studies without relenting. The classroom should be a safe place for every student. No student should wake up in the morning and feel like they don't want to go to school. Why? Because they have a child, they have a mate in class who is going to talk them down. They have a mate in class who is going to bully them. They have a mate in class who is going to make them feel less of themselves. Every child, every student should be willing to go to school because they have friends who love them, because they have friends who care about them, because they have friends who respect their opinion and their status. So, I hope that you are that child for your classmates. I hope that you are that student for your classmates who love, who care, who respect, and who will help your fellow classmates in the classroom. Okay. Now to the parents. Parents, I feel like we should, try in as much for our child. Do the best for them. I've seen a lot of children come to school in a very, very abnormal way. Not because their status is so bad. Not because their status is so bad, but because they just have parents who don't really care. They have parents who don't really care. Your child is going to school in the morning. It is obligatory as a parent. What did I say? Obligatory. Like, underline the word obligatory. It is obligatory as a parent to prepare breakfast for your child. A little bread and tea, cornflakes and milk will not hurt you as long as you can afford it. If you are so late for your own workplace and you don't have the luxury of time to have them sit down and eat breakfast, cook it up for them. Let them have it in the car. As you drive, maybe you drive them to school. As you drive, they can take it. Or if they are going through school bus, they can take it inside the school bus. Or if you are so lucky to get them to school very early, they can take it early as soon as they get to school before the assembly starts. So as parents, we should always make that sacrifice. If it involves you waking up as early as 3 o'clock, God will reward you. Just do it for that child. Another thing is the school uniform. If you can afford a new one for your child, get them a new one. If you cannot afford a new one, watch the old one, iron it, and make it seem like very, very perfect. When a school uniform is old but it is well washed and ironed, it will be slightly noticeable. Like, no one will notice it. But when a school uniform is old and then it is dirty at the same time, it gives an awkward appearance to your child. Another thing is their school materials. Parents should always endeavor to have required books, required materials, writing materials, and then like school bags and school footwear for their kids. If you cannot afford a very expensive one. You can get one that is in the range in the money I don't know, one that is the amount you have. You get one that is within that range. There are a lot of very cheap bags that you can get for your child. And no problem if you cannot afford the bag at all and you want them to use a nylon. If you want them to use a nylon, fine. Get them a very neat one, and the way you help them put their books into it and fold it, it will give it a nice, a nice attraction or something like that. All this is going to help to curtail classroom bullying, where we will have healthy children that will produce healthy results at the end of the term and session. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have learned something from this video, please let me know in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed, please, you can still do so. There is no late coming at all. Do so now and join the family. Thank you. On to the next one.